Shoutout, Sniper T on the beat.
Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise, with life on the forefront of the mind. So line for line, you can ride this brain train and you can change your station without even touching the dial. So relax, stay a little bit, but listen for a while. And whether you're bumping this in the whip or in a business fit, it's a meeting you won't want to miss. A meeting for a meal to feed the soul with words for the mind. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Time to take off, it's time to fly. Cause Tamara till the break of dawn is on the rise.
Hey y'all, hey, it's me, Tamara. Hey, welcome. It's season 4, y'all. And it's so funny because it has been a little while since I recorded, probably like a couple weeks, because towards the end of the season, since I don't take a break between seasons, what I do is I'll record the last episodes kind of like ahead of time and then release them, and then I can have a break, but it doesn't affect y'all, you feel me? So it feels like I've been forever. It's been forever since I talked to y'all, and it's probably because my last few episodes were not solo episodes, so it wasn't me just processing my life and whatnot. So feels good to be back. I always really try to start the season just as a solo episode. I don't know why, but it just is what it is. So if you're new episodes happen every Thursday, so make sure you come back through on my day, wherever you came in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 99, whatever. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for continuing to support me. If you're not, you should totally be following me on social media. My website is tamarathedon.com, which is in the episode notes, and you can find the links to my Twitter, Instagram, and the show's Facebook page. Let's see what else. Okay, so if you want to support your girl with some merch, speaking of which, I know y'all see it. If you watching, you see it. And if you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, whatever, you see I posted my canvas that's right here with my show logo. Just something I just wanted to get, you know what I'm saying? Making me feel, real official, you know what I'm saying? The butterfly is still back there because shout out to my mom. She knows I love butterflies, so that has to be a part of the show still, but just, flutter, fly back there because, Tamara till the break of dawn over here. You feel me? Okay. So, but if you want to support with merch, there is that design. There's a whole bunch of designs. So again, the website, go to one of the shop tabs. No sale going on right now, but y'all know I will have another one. Y'all better catch them while we have them, because I'm not going to be having long drawn out sales or whatever. But if you want to just support at full price, do you. I would not stop you. Or if you don't want to get merch, but you still want to support, buy me a coffee. That goes towards the TAM special. The link to that is in the episode notes as well. Also on my pretty much any ways you can support me, blog, all that good stuff is at the website tamarathedon.com, which if you are watching, you see it at the bottom of the screen. Okay, weekly podcast shout out. And it's so funny because I'm always like, I keep a list so that I don't repeat the same people, because I really want to shout out all the dope podcasters that I've met. And I'm always kind of like surprised when I find someone who I haven't shouted them out yet, especially if I interact with them a lot on Twitter. So that said, this week's podcast shout out is Drunk Theory. Met them on Twitter. I have listened to their show. Basically, it's what it is. They get drunk and then they talk about conspiracy theories. So the link to their stuff will be in the episode notes. Did I get everything out the way? Yes. Okay, let's get into it, y'all. It's season 4. It's so funny. I don't even know why I have seasons, but it kind of gives me like this sense of completion, which if you're not new, you know that, one of the big things I've talked about on here is that I've never had a creative project last this long. I have not remained consistent with any creative projects, which is crazy because I also serve on the creative team at my church virtually right now. So I'll watch the message and, do what I do with that. But one of the things that's cool is today, one of the pastors and someone else serving was like, thank you for your faithfulness and consistency. And the reason I bring that up is because if you've listened to me, you know that I have talked about how consistency is not a strength of mine. And so it just really shows that I've come a long way in life if someone is thanking me for my consistency. But I really have tried to be someone who is more goal focused rather than letting my feelings determine what I do or don't do or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So that's what's kind of helped me stay on this snatched 40s journey. You see it if you paying attention, you seeing that first of all, you know, you can see in the video slimming down or whatever, you know, having results. But also if you follow me on Instagram, for sure Instagram, Twitter, I do put it in the fleets, but I don't know who I'll be looking at that because I don't even check to see who watches my stories on Instagram or really anywhere. And a lot of the reason that is because when I was getting into posting some of my more, we'll just say interesting progress pics, I didn't want to see who saw it because I didn't care about that. So ever since then, I just really don't look to see. But for sure on my IG, every time I work out, I'll post it. And the reason I post it is at first it was just kind of like encourage other people, but now honestly it's like accountability for me, because if I'm out here saying I'm sharing my journey with the world, the days that maybe I don't feel like working out, at the same time I'll have people who'll say, man, you're inspiring me or whatever. And so kind of, yes, it's my journey, but me encouraging and motivating others helps me in just a lot of things. So, you know, I've been sticking with my snatch 40s journey or whatever. But the cool thing is that I'm seeing myself getting stronger. Whereas when this started, I hated burpees. And I'm not going to say they're my favorite thing because they're not. But what I will say is that I can do more and more each set, because the dude that I do his workouts, so his name is Bully Juice. And he doesn't say, oh, do 3 reps of or 3 sets of 10 reps or whatever. He just says, we're going to do this workout for 45 seconds, a minute, whatever. And however many you can get in of whatever you're doing, like that's how it goes. And so for me, it's cool because the more I stick with this, I see, besides seeing results, which I'm loving that, but besides that, it's just seeing myself getting stronger. So like burpees, I'm able to do those better. Mountain climbers, I used to instead of getting down on the ground, I used to use the edge of my bed. I would still do the mountain climbers because I've done workouts where they will have you do mountain climbers standing up. So because I've been on this basically like 10-year journey, I've learned a lot of ways to modify an exercise if I'm struggling with it, which has been just super helpful, because it's kind of like, obviously if I'm starting a journey, I'm not going to be just this impeccable athlete, you know what I'm saying? But you got to start somewhere. And so in all things, if I can go hard, I'll go hard. Sometimes I go hard and then maybe switch it to a modified version just so I keep moving. Or sometimes I just do the modified version. It just kind of depends on how I feel. One of my areas of weakness, and I posted this the other day, is jumping jacks. Like I can do burpees, I can do regular push-ups. Now, I'm not saying I'm doing hundreds of push-ups, but I challenge myself to do more and more like regular push-ups before I switch to the modified every, you know, workout or whatever. I can do push-ups, I can do mountain climbers, I can do high knees, I can do jump roping, I can do pretty much every other workout that he has me do, depending on what the playlist is, fine. But your girl really be struggling with jumping jacks. I can do them, but I cannot, like, that's not something that I can just, like, he has a, I want to say 10-minute jumping jack workout. No, I don't really even do that one. You know what I'm saying? That's just for whatever reason, it's just an area that needs to be strengthened. But the cool thing is, going back to the consistency thing, is that the more I'm consistent with the workouts, and I like to switch it up, and my hair is just bothering me. Okay. I like to switch it up and I like to whatever, but I pretty much do the same types of workout. It just might be different the way he has the order, or he might have different workouts or exercises or whatever, depending on which video I choose. But the more I keep just working out and getting stronger, because I always do cardio first, then strength. I try to do abs too, and then sometimes I'll do back or arms. Not always with those, because the cardio and strength, really even the abs, kind of includes components of that. But I always do cardio and strength. And the more that I do it, the stronger that I get. So, man, consistency, it's hard, because for me it was, because if you're someone who likes to do things based on how you feel, if you don't feel like it, you're not going to do it. But then I've even, like, sometimes if I don't wake up in the morning to like do my workout in the morning, I kind of like to prefer to do them in the morning just to get it out the way for the day. But I'm, not really such a morning person. So what I started doing is shout out to Jay. She put me on to these Celsius energy drinks. And so they're healthier, so it doesn't have all that sugar and all that crap in it. And so I'll just, if I know I need to work out after work, if I'm tired towards the end of my shift, I'll start drinking one to get energized and just get it in. So it's kind of like I said, I've been really trying to be more goal focused. My goal is the snatched 40s. Like, I work hard now and am disciplined now, and then I'll still have to maintain, because I can't just get to where I'm going and then quit. But I'm working hard because I never want to have to get myself back together again. You know what I'm saying? I just want to maintain. So if I'm trying to be for real about the snatched 40s, then I got to find ways to stay goal focused rather than just focus on how I feel. So like I was saying a little bit ago, it's super just encouraging how much I've grown to have someone say, thank you for your consistency, because that is never a way that I would have ever described myself before. So kind of wanted to get into that. The next thing I wanted to talk to, this, probably will be a shorter episode, because there's just a couple things that I kind of wanted to just get off my chest. And I'm going to tell y'all a little story real quick, okay? And then that'll be a segue into my next thing. So if you can tell, I did the podcast shout out at the beginning. I'm very much about supporting other podcasters. Like, you could say whatever you want to say about me, but one thing you will be definitely lying if you say is, one, if you say I'm not funny, you are a liar. And two, if you say that I'm not supportive of other podcasters, then you lying, because I retweet when I listen to episodes. What I used to do is I used to tweet out each individual podcast link to their Apple podcast, because that's what I usually listen to podcasts on. So I used to do that, and then some people I would live tweet, some I don't. It just really kind of depends on how busy I am, or if the episode, I like to try to be funnier with all things that I tweet, you know what I'm saying? Bring some laughter or encouragement, but usually I try to make the live tweets either petty, like just really summarize what they said in a petty way, or funny or whatever. But nevertheless, that's how I used to do it. But with work and whatever, it just became this time consuming thing. Sometimes Apple Podcasts wouldn't want to give you the link and all this dumb stuff. So now what I started doing is set my rotation for the day, and then at the beginning of the day, just tweet, this is what I'm going to listen to. I still at or tag the podcast, put the episode name so that whoever can go listen to it. Because it's all about trying to bring awareness to other people about, hey, this is a podcast maybe you might want to check out. It's not even about necessarily interacting with the podcast host, although I do appreciate like the people when I live tweet who reply, because then it's kind of like we're conversing about your episode rather than me just tweeting. But, it is what it is. I don't do it for that. Okay, I say all that to say what I'm starting to get, and I have no problem with it because I am all for adding new podcasts to my rotation, because some podcasts I found have been because someone was like, hey, can you check me out or whatever at various times or whatever. So what's starting to happen is when I do my podcast list or whatever, you'll get somebody, sometimes they're following me, sometimes they're not, and they're like, hey, can you listen to me, or how can we be on this list or whatever. What I always say is send me what's the link, preferably Apple Podcasts, because that's what I listen to, and I will add you to my rotation. And I will listen to pretty much everyone at least once. And I say pretty much because it just really depends what your show is about. If it's about, I don't know, like true crime, for example, I really try to limit how many of those I listen to, because those are kind of hard to listen to. And so I kind of have my couple that I will listen to because I'm pretty cool with the host. So I might not add that, but I'm trying to think of, I don't know, I can't really think of too much. I usually will at least listen to everybody once. Okay, so I am a podcaster, obviously. And if I want anyone to buy my merchandise, if I want anyone to listen to my show, if I want anyone to read my blog, what I always do, even though the link to my website is on my bio on every site, including my personal Facebook, but what I always do, because I know that people are not necessarily going to go looking for things when you're asking them to help you. What I always do is I always put the link to wherever. If somebody asks me, my daughters will ask me, hey, what's the link to your website? Randomly, I will just send it on my iPhone. I have created so many shortcuts to where I only got to type maybe 4 or 5 letters based on the phrase. I mean, whole paragraphs. Like when people, I'm going somewhere with this. When people, though, put me on those podcast recommendation tweets, this whole paragraph comes out where first I say thank you, and that's to the person that recommended me. Then I say on my show, I talk about the foolishness I'm going through and the ways the ways I'm trying to grow. New episodes drop every Thursday. You can find me on all major platforms. Everything related to the show is at this link, and then I have my website up there. That pops up every time somebody puts me in one of those podcast recommendations. The only time I don't put all that is if like the person said, hey, I want true crime or I want this, and I don't fit into that, then I don't, put all that. But I do it every time because even if they don't listen to it, I look at it as somebody else might see it and might want to check me out. So it's kind of made it, because before I used to be like, they probably ain't even about to listen, but somebody else might, you know what I'm saying? So all that whole paragraph pops up, but I'm trying to remember what I type. I think I type out PC promo, all one word, and that whole paragraph. And that's how I do most things. Like when I'm trying to give somebody my website, I don't put tamerthedon.com and type it up. I'm like, my web, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm all about efficiency. This is how I am at work, templates, whatever. I'm all about efficiency. If I'm going to be doing the same thing over and over again, then I'm going to create a shortcut for it. Or at work, I'm going to create a template for it or whatever, just because it's a waste of my time when I have a full-time job and a solo podcast and a blog and kids, and I'm on my workout journey. Like that's literally my life. I don't really do much outside of that, which is fine because I'm working towards starting a business and all these things. So it's kind of like I'm super busy. I don't have time to be typing all this stuff out every time, but it's not on the other person for me to say, go to my bio and find it. Now, let me tell y'all a story. Had to give y'all this background about how I am as a podcaster. So, like I said, I did my hey podcast rotation for the day. Somebody hopped on and was like, hey, I don't have a problem with telling this story because if it's on Twitter, it's up there. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Everybody saw it, or you could go look for it or whatever. But the dude was like, hey, can you listen to my show and let me know what you think? And he put the show in it. And it wasn't somebody that I follow. So me knowing if you don't give me the link right now for me to go to Apple Podcasts while we're on this, and then I usually will subscribe to the show. And then if I want to keep it in my rotation, I'll keep it there. And if I don't, then I don't. But I at least, like I said, will listen to everybody once for the most part. So I said, hey, what's the link? Preferably Apple Podcast link. And he was like, yeah, it's in my bio. It's real easy to find. And I was just kind of like, so let me get this straight. And I'm super summarizing the whole interaction, but I was kind of like, so let me get this straight. You hopped on my tweet, asked me to listen. Okay, cool. Because there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But then when I ask you for your link, you want me to go find your stuff. And you also want me to listen to you and give you feedback. Like the amount of entitlement that I felt like this person had, especially because I am a podcaster and I work really hard and I do all the things that I just told you, because the one thing I know about people is you kind of got to catch people in that moment. Otherwise, it might not happen. You know what I'm saying? So me knowing all of this, I'm like, whatever. And he's like, well, I don't know how to do that, but it's in my bio. It's real easy to find. And so I am a person that I am a teacher by nature. And I just feel like there are a lot of things that kind of irritate me about, and I talk about it, the politics of this industry. And I'm not a fan of politics in any, or just systems and organizations, because they're generally flawed, because we're all flawed human beings. But you can't have this entitlement that like somebody owes you, someone you don't even know and don't have rapport with. So there's that part too. You are a stranger and it's fine for you to want me to listen to your show. Sure, I'll even give you feedback. But for you to expect me to do all the work to go look for it and do all this stuff, when you ask me, it's not like I came looking for you. You came and I didn't send for you. So it's kind of like, what's the link? So because I am a person who likes to educate, and I'm thinking down the road, like, bruh, that's something you kind of need to step up on, because you need to make it easy for people to follow you. So I said, well, I'm going to tell you how to do it, because you gotta make it easy for people to follow you. And I can't remember what else I said, but I said something about you can't expect me, or you can't expect anyone to work harder than you for them to support you. Like, to me, that just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for me to tell y'all, buy my merch, but I don't put the link or anything in there for you to be able to do it. And I say, oh, well, just go Google Tamara to the Break of Dawn merch. Like, how stupid does that sound? Like, and I didn't say all this to him, because I really try to just come from a teachable place, be kind to people, or just ignore it if I feel like I really want to whatever, because it's Twitter. Like, it's not that serious. So, I just think that to me, that's stupid. That's why my website is a one-stop shop. Like, you literally can access everything that I want you to access on my website, because then you don't have to go to 50 different sites. And my website will take you to Teespring. It will take you to this place and that place, because you got to make it easy for people to support you. Otherwise, like, why are they going to do it? Especially if they don't know you. Hell, people that know you might not even go above and beyond to support you, but a nigga or people that don't even know you, I'm definitely not about to do that. And so because I think like that, I try to make, it easy for other people. Well, so I said it however I said it. Now, obviously, I'm saying it a little bit more aggressive or whatever because I'm just saying it how I feel. Like I said, I try to be kinder to people because you don't know what people are going through. But he was like, you working harder than me. Wow, you're bold. And said something like, if you can't go click on the link of the show that I already told you or whatever, then I don't think I'm the problem. And I was just like, well, if you knew me at all, you would know that anything I say comes up from a place to help, because I am a podcaster. And whenever I'm asked for my information, I give it, because people are not going to do all that to go looking and searching. I was like, but enjoy the rest of your day, and moved on with life. You know what I'm saying? You wanted me to listen to you. I didn't ask for podcast recommendations. Furthermore, I said, this is my rotation, because I already got the gang of shows that I listen to, which if you follow me on Twitter, you see I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I listen to a variety of different shows. Some of it will be based on my mood. Some of it will be like, there's a few different shows that I always like to live tweet their shows, just because whatever they're talking about is either hilarious or whatever. And so like those shows I'll only kind of listen to when I can, and then just whatever my mood is, whatever. I didn't ask for your stuff, so why do you have this entitlement like I'm supposed to do all this stuff? And it's like, we can't have that as podcasters, as whatever. Like, it's a grind trying to get whatever out there, be it your brand, be it an episode, be it your merchandise or whatever. Like, it's hard work. And I know for a fact, as a solo podcaster, it's a lot of work. I do everything myself, even editing when necessary. You know what I'm saying? So because I bust my ass, I find that I get frustrated with people who, I don't want to say that's lazy. And that's why I tried to educate and show you, hey, I'll tell you how to do it. That was the first thing I said, was I will show you how to do it. This is why. What link is in your, and sure, that took more time, but it's worth it for me to help you grow as a podcaster, grow as whatever, than to just do it for you. That's how I am with my kids. Like, my kids, I taught them how to do laundry when they were I think my youngest might have been 8. Why? Because I was a single parent working full time and going to school, and I could not keep up with all that. You're going to need to learn how to do laundry anyway. Now, maybe if I wouldn't have been in school, I wouldn't have taught them at such a young age, but that's okay, because we go to the laundromat now that we live in an apartment, and there was an adult that didn't know how to, I had to help her with how to work the washer and dryer because she didn't know. And she's like, and when I say adult, yes, adult, but she was probably somewhere around my, kid's age or whatever. And one of the things she said is, see, this is why I need my mom to something or whatever. And who knows why she suddenly is having to do laundry, but I don't want my kids to be like that. Like, I want my kids to be independent. Yes, there's things, of course, that I still do for them, but I say all that to say, I don't know who he thought he was. And for you to say, wow, you're bold, you obviously don't know me, because anything I put on Twitter, I stand by it, because I don't put anything out there that I might regret or that I might retract later. Like, if I said it, not only did I say it, I probably proofread it because I hate typos. So yeah, I'm bold. Yes, I'm going to speak the truth in love. If you don't like it, that's on you. But to have this entitlement that a stranger, that's the crazy part. Dude wasn't even a follower. So, like, let's be real. And this is where the industry side of it comes into play. What do I gain? What do I gain from listening to your show and giving you feedback? And it's so funny, because I don't mind giving people feedback. Like, if it's the first time me listening to your show and you're like, what do I think? Or if you specifically say like, hey, can you tell me what you think of this episode because of this? Maybe, but I struggle with, and I even tweeted this the other day, I struggle with like people who you're a regular in my rotation every time asking me, what do you think? And the reason why is because like when I do Apple Podcasts, I think it is, and we would do review swaps where, okay, I'll review your show or leave a review for your show if you leave a review for my show. In all things that I do, and if you know me, listen, whatever, you can vouch for this, I am authentic in all things I do. So if I'm going to give you feedback, or if I'm going to give you a review, it's not going to be some, oh, it was a dope episode and that's all I say. I'm going to talk about something specific that I enjoyed, specific that I got from it. That's where the live tweeting comes from. So I say all that to say that for me, it takes a lot out of me giving people feedback, because ultimately I'm giving y'all some of me. You know what I'm saying? In all things that I do, this is me. This is who I am. You know what I'm saying? So I struggle with that, but I don't mind doing it for people that I have rapport with, because 9 times out of 10, and this is where the industry side comes of it, because I've had to kind of shift my thinking on certain things, because all y'all got different reasons for why you podcast, how you move, how you whatever. For me, this is a therapeutic, creative outlet. Furthermore, it's also me leaving a legacy behind for my kids, so that when I'm dead and gone, they'll have videos, they'll have episodes, they'll have whatever. I don't want them to forget what my voice sounds like or forget what I thought or whatever. That's what this is for me. But everybody has different reasons of why they podcast, and that's okay. However, going back to the dude, what do I get out of doing all that for you? Like, did you say you were going to listen to my show? And the thing about it is, when people ask me to do stuff, I usually don't even ask for anything in return. You know what I'm saying? I do it or I don't. And when it comes to people asking me to listen to their show, like I said, I'll just listen. I don't even say, hey, listen to my show too. And I bet you most of these people don't even realize I'm a podcaster too, because some of them don't even be following me. They just, I don't know where they came from, but it's Twitter. So I comment on all kinds of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm not tripping off that. But back to the dude, like, what benefit do I get from doing all that? And then on top of that, you got the audacity to, you can't even drop the link. Like, you can't even do your part to make sure that I get what I need so that I can do what you're requesting of me. Because again, I did not send for you. You just came out of nowhere. That entitlement, you can't have that in this. You can't have that, period. But you can't have that in this industry, because nobody owes you anything. You got to grind just like the rest of us do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of work, even being in retweet groups, because I got to retweet. That means I got to go. And sometimes if I had a busy day and I'm not on Twitter, and then I pop in and it's the gang of messages because people are in there talking or whatever, which is fine because we've built rapport, we've whatever. But then I got to scroll through all that, see what's the actual tweets versus, it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Then I don't know. So it's a lot. It's a grind. You are not entitled to everything, to anything. Work. Yes, blessings, favor, and all that stuff come. I'm not saying that's not a thing, but even with that, you still have to do your part. Like, let's say one of y'all makes it in the podcast game and like you get a deal with Spotify, or I don't know who, I'll just say them because I remember seeing some podcaster one time got a deal or whatever. Let's say you get that. You're not going to get that just by in your mind praying and being like, okay, I want a Spotify, if you don't start a podcast. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you still got to do your part too. I love and appreciate the people who nominated me for the podcast, the SMEPA award that I won for most helpful podcasters. I love that. I love that I won, because that means there are people that support me that I don't even really realize that. And there's different ways that people can support me. Like my family, I know they voted. My Facebook friends that is on my personal Facebook, they voted. But at the same time, they might not never listen to an episode, but that's the way that they can support me. So I love that I won. But here's the thing. I had to tweet, post, be on IG. Hey, can you please vote for me? I had to text my family. I had to do all these things. So I still had to do my part, because if I had not done that work, I might not have won, because how would anybody have known to vote for me? So like having this entitlement mentality in this industry, if that's you, I hope you understand the heart behind me saying this, because you know my heart is to help, but I am going to speak the truth bluntly, and that's lazy. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. The last thing that I want to talk about, hold on, let me get a little drinky drink real quick, which I'm just drinking water. It's so funny how, I don't know, like I remember when I first started doing YouTube videos where I literally needed to have a drink every time I would record to get over looking at myself when I talk, because that just felt very weird to just stare at myself while I'm talking about whatever. But I don't know. I don't care anymore now. So if I'm going to have the TAM special, I am. And if I'm not, I'm not. And it just really depends on what's going to be going on after this episode. And I got stuff to do. So, you know, it is what it is. But the last thing I want to talk about is, and it's funny because I don't know if I mentioned it on here before, but I just remember, y'all know I talk a lot about my life and whatever. And I just remember talking about something on an episode that I don't remember, but what I always remember the specific feedback that different people give me in response to an episode, especially if it's something that, even if I don't understand it then, once, like how the Lord works in my life, which if you're new, faith is a big thing for me. So I have a relationship with the Lord. I have for since I was 20. Well, yeah, we'll say since I was 27 is when I actually, you know, started trying to have a relationship with him for real, not perfect at all. Like, you should probably could tell by this episode, I am not one of them just, hey, we love Jesus. No, I'm going to tell the truth. I'm a whatever, because that's just, it is what it is. But I kind of grew up in church because my mom used to send us when we was little. And then, you know, she started going for herself when we were a teenager or whatever. But it wasn't until I was 27 that I was actually like, okay, I'm about to, you know, try to see what it's about or whatever for real. So the way the Lord works in my life is if someone tells me something, even if I don't receive it when they say it, like I'll say thanks or excuse me, whatever. But when it's applicable, he will remind me of what they said. You know what I'm saying? So a while ago, in response to an episode that I don't remember what the episode was about, but it don't even matter. Spins from Views from the Seven. Shout out to them. Shout out to Sweatpants and Stretch Marks. Shout out to Shenanigans with Friends too. And I those three specifically, because those are all the Vegas podcasts that I listen to, and they're all part of the same kind of, I don't even know what you call it, but them is my Vegas homies or whatever, especially Chris. So then I got to shout out Audrey, J, and Autumn too, you know, Podcast Happy Hour, which, let me segue there real quick. The next Podcast Happy Hour is actually this Saturday, March 27th. So if you are one of my people that like listens to my episodes like kind of right when it drops on either Thursday, Friday, or early Saturday, make sure you check out the Podcast Happy Hour. It's going to be hosted on Jay's platform, which the link to her Twitter is in the episode notes, so you can follow her and you can watch it on there. Or you can look up Jay's Quick 3 on YouTube. I don't think she has a Facebook page, so you know, check us out or whatever. But one of the things that Spence said was that I can't weaponize my trauma. I talk a lot about the stuff that I've been through on here. And ultimately, he was saying, like, you deserve love and happiness too. And so, why that's applicable now is because we could use we could just use a small example just real quick to make it make sense. So, as I said before, I was a podcaster for many, many years. Like, I blog, I write. Blogs drop on the 1st and 15th. So if you go to tamerthedon.com and you want to check out one of my blogs, it's all up there. But there are many, many blogs I had before that you look at the analytics and you see nobody's reading, nobody's whatever. That went on for years. Now, I was only promoting to my family and people on Facebook. So, with podcasting, I had to step away. And I feel like that's been what has helped me have more quote unquote success. And why I say quote unquote, because for me, success is simply just consistency. It's simply just the fact that I started this podcast in November of 2019. And here it is, the end of March of 2021, and I'm still going, and I have not missed a week. And this is no shade to anybody that takes breaks, because everybody does things on their own schedule and their own whatever. But for me, especially because I never could keep up with anything, I'm proud that not only am I still going strong, but I've been giving y'all a weekly episode for sure, and sometimes bonus episodes, just like I just dropped the movie Tears review on Monday or whatever. So it's kind of like, for me, I'm proud of that. But prior to podcasting, I had many, 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 many blogs, many even poetry events that I would be a part of, that people really, that I would want to come support me, they didn't support, they didn't read, whatever. So that's trauma, I guess, in a sense, especially as a creative, because like I always say, nobody creates anything and just for the sake of, if you put it out there, I'll say, if you put it out there, you want somebody to listen, read, support in some sort of way. You want that. That's why you're putting it out there. So to have that, that's trauma. Okay. Now, imagine if when I came to the podcast world and you have these people supporting me and retweeting and listening and giving feedback, what if I was all like, not me, and all super standoffish and just whatever because of the trauma? Then I'm weaponizing my trauma because I'm using my trauma to hinder me from happiness as a podcaster or as a blogger, or I've done a lot of things that people did not support, and I'm not weaponizing my trauma though. I learned from it, and that's why I try to support podcasts. That's why I am the way I am, because of what I've been through, and I know that sucks. I'm repurposing my pain ultimately. Now let's take this to a different example. So y'all know I've talked about online dating and all these things because it is what it is in a pandemic. I don't go anywhere, so it's not realistic for me to right now say that I'm about to go out here and go anywhere and meet anybody. I go to the grocery store, yes. I go to the laundromat, yes. That's about it as far as where, besides driving my daughter to school, you know what I'm saying? You have your mask on. I'm really not trying to be in nobody's face in the laundromat or the grocery store. Like, I'm on a mission of, I'm trying to wash these clothes, I'm trying to get this food, or I'm trying to get whatever I'm trying to get. Like, that's what I'm on. So it's kind of like, it's not realistic for me to say that I'm just going to meet somebody in person. So I've had some super raggedy experiences with online dating. I've talked about some of it on here more recently, which is hilarious. Tweeted this the other day. Is that so last summer, that's when I first started with online dating, and then I, take breaks and, whatever. So I met somebody. We didn't meet in person, but we met on the app. We exchanged numbers, and then we FaceTime because I wanted to make sure that he was actually the person in the picture, because you hear so many stories about catfishing, and I'm just really not about to I'm too old for that. Like, I am 40. I will be 41 this which, Lord, that is just insane. But I will be 41 this year. I ain't got time to be playing these games with people. But people do play games, so I've tried to find ways to kind of, I don't want to say protect myself from that, but just not be like, in the year 2020 or now in the year 2021, I'm not about to be messaging somebody forever and I ain't seen you, whatever, because I'm the type of person that I'll tell you, like, if we can't whatever, I'm not going to be messaging you all like that if I can't rest in the fact that you are who you say you are. And if you are for real about whatever, it shouldn't be a problem, because if anybody wanted to FaceTime me to make sure I'm the chick in the picture, cool. If anybody, that's why I have a couple full body pics on there, because everybody has preferences, whatever. You should be able to decide whether or not you want to try to pursue me or not. And I should have that right too, without people being on bull. So what happened last summer is we FaceTime. I don't know. It was, I guess I'll just say we didn't have chemistry, and you know whether or not you have chemistry with someone. And it's just, I don't know, I mean, it was cool and we talked about a lot of different stuff, but I wasn't really tripping because he probably realized we don't have chemistry, or who knows, whatever. I don't care. All I know is I got ghosted after we FaceTime, but I wasn't tripping because, like I said, the conversation, like, we talked about a lot of different things, but it wasn't anything where I was like, this is somebody I really want to pursue beyond that. So I wasn't tripping when I didn't hear from him, and I didn't, reach out anymore either. Okay. So the crazy thing is that was on one dating app, and I don't say the dating apps because I'm not out here trying to give free advertisement to these people. If y'all want to sponsor me, you feel me? If you happen to be listening, hit me up at my email, tamrathedon@gmail.com. You know what I'm saying? But otherwise, that's why I'll just be very vague about stuff. So that was on one dating app, and I remember that's what it was. Now on a different dating app, the other day in the year 2021, after we already were texting up to FaceTime, up to that, it was good morning, beautiful every day, which I'm not really one of them people that is moved by that. It just, I don't know. It doesn't feel authentic to me. Like, I'm the kind of person I would want, like, a personalized nickname rather than just, oh, beautiful. Like, I'm not saying it has to be all whatever, but something that's just, I'm all about the little things. I guess I'll just say that. So, but it was good morning, beautiful every day up till we FaceTime. Then we FaceTime. Then I don't hear from you anymore. So then I look the same, I mean, my face has slimmed down some, but I was on my workout journey then. So everything else about me, I've pretty much looked the same my entire life. So you could have forgot what I look like, but I don't forget a face. But dudes, not all men, but the men that I have met on these dating apps, most of them have been about some bull. So I wouldn't put it past somebody to think he had the audacity to try to circle back around on a different app. But the crazy thing is, it's with a different name. Got a notification of, oh, so-and-so liked your picture. And I look, and it's the dude that goes, like, who do you think you are, sir? Get out of here, sir. So I definitely declined that one. But it's the audacity for me. But I bring that up because I've had other scenarios where somebody else, more recently, we were trying to plan to meet. It's like, hey, da-da-da-da-da. Then when it's time to plan, I get ghosted. Okay, cool. Don't circle back around, sir, because, like, if you didn't listen to He's Not Interested, shout out to Shayna and Jeezy for hopping on that episode. And I appreciate the insight that Jeezy gave me, because it's really been one of the things he said that stuck with me is that if a man is interested, I'm not going to have to work that hard. Like, of course, he needs to know that I'm interested too. But one of the things he said is once he knows that, a real man is going to run with that, which is what I would want. So that's something that has stuck with me since then. Therefore, it helps me navigate things a little bit better and also not waste my time because I'm an overthinker. So I will try to, in my mind, figure out why, whatever, when really it ain't even that serious and like time and energy is wasted, whatever. But more recently, I did, and I will see if this story turns into me saying he was on bull lately or later or whatever, but I did meet somebody else. We haven't met or anything like that in person, but I say all that to say now, with my previous experiences I've had with online dating, it's important for me to have a fresh start with every person. Yes, be wise, pay attention, because men are way less complex than the way I think. So either they're interested or they're not. And you can tell, even if somebody is busy, people can still make effort and prioritize what's important. That's one of the things Jeezy said too. He's like, even if he got whatever going on, he's going to make sure you know or whatever. So there is somebody that I've been talking to or whatever. And why I'm talking about I can't weaponize my trauma, which is important. This is my encouragement to you is, if you've been through something and it was traumatic, you need to do the work that you need to do to heal. And then after you've done that work, whatever that looks like, maybe it's therapy, maybe it's just a conversation with yourself, journaling. This show really helps me process a lot of stuff because it helps me process things externally, which is the way I process things. But once you do that, you have to choose to walk in freedom, for lack of a better term. So I have to choose that this man is not whoever, unless he starts doing, like, as long as he's continuing as we have been, cool. If he gives me red flags or whatever, then I'll act accordingly. But I can't let what I've been through be a weapon to hinder me from a potentially great person because I've been through trauma. So that's where the whole you can't weaponize your trauma comes from, because man, some people, they go through things, and yeah, I've been through a lot of stuff, a lot, even way before online dating, to where if I was going to weaponize all that, I wouldn't even be out here trying to talk to anybody. Like I go back to podcasting, I wouldn't be out here even trying with this because, oh, nobody supported me and all this stuff before. But man, walking in freedom, look, I told y'all, I've been doing this since November of 2019 because I continue to choose to walk in freedom. I've won a couple awards, and it's not about that, but it's cool, especially coming from someone who no one ever supported any of my stuff before. So whatever freedom looks like for you, however you need to get there. I always talk about being, mentally and emotionally healthy. Like, that is super important because you carry you wherever you go. And we can't have this mindset of, oh, that's just the way that I am and that's whatever, when it's toxic. Now, if it's something that somebody's trying to change about you that's not harmful or hindering you from having success in relationships or having success in whatever, then that's on them. That's, not on you or whatever. But if it's something that's hindering you from success, happiness, hindering you from moving forward, you can't just have this mindset of, oh, well, that's just the way it is because of what I went through. No, you need to do the work to dig in, heal, have boundaries and all that good stuff, and keep it pushing. So that's all I got for y'all. Welcome to season 4. Also tonight, so if you listen to this as it drops today on Thursday, I do have a live show tonight. It's going to be live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. It's going to be a conversation about healing from trauma. So I'm going to have Kira from Moms and Martinis podcast on, Lex is more from the Free Space podcast, and my friend LaRonda, who is a therapist. She is a specific kind of therapist that I cannot remember off the top of my head, but it'll be tonight at 8 Central, 9 Eastern, so then that's 6 Pacific. So yeah, definitely hop on that. You can heal from trauma. It takes work. You know what I'm saying? People think healing looks all kinds of different ways. That's why I don't tell you this is the way that you should do it. I say this is what I do. If that resonates with you, cool. If not, figure it out, whatever it is, because at the end of the day, I just want y'all to be healthy. That's why I'm transparent about a lot of stuff. Like when I post stuff like I remember the other day I posted 3 selfies, and man, I don't know if fellas, if y'all go through this, but I know ladies, sometimes we take a million selfies before we find the one that we actually like to post. And I took a selfie, I was like, I don't like it. I took another one, I was like, I don't like it. And I took a third one, I was like, man, I hate all of these. And I posted them anyway with the caption, I hated all these though. And the reason I do stuff like that, or when I'm talking about my workout journey, or when I'm talking about whatever I'm talking about where I'm being transparent, it's because, one, I know I'm not the only one. That is really the reason why I share my life with y'all, because a lot of times people think that they are the only one. So then if they hear me, because some people look at your life and they think whatever they think about you and make whatever judgments. And it's like, y'all don't even realize, like when I tell people that I get nervous, like when I'm having a new guest, especially if it's somebody that, no, because even sometimes when it's, I don't know, weird times, I don't know what necessarily triggers it, but weird times I get nervous before recording. People, when I say that, they're like, man, you can't tell. That don't mean I don't get nervous. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean I don't have to, just like today before I hit record, I had to like take a deep breath and just, okay, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. People have these judgments about what they think, how they think, and it's like, we all struggling. We all got insecurities. We all got whatever. I still sometimes don't even like listening to my episodes because I can't stand the sound of my own voice. And I don't know that that's ever going to change, because like I said, I've been podcasting for about 1.5 years now, and it's still, maybe not every episode, but it's still be like that. So it's kind of like we all got insecurities, we all got struggles, we all got whatever, and that's where I share mine. But at the end of the day, you know, we can't let, now sometimes we do have true barriers that we can't overcome, but if it's something you can overcome, work through, you can't let fear stop you from doing what you want to do, because man, what's on the other side of fear, you don't know if you don't push past it. So that's my encouragement, as well as take care of yourself spiritually. We all have spirits that need to be healthy. So take care of yourself spiritually and take care of yourself physically, whatever that looks like for you. Make sure you're getting sleep though. You can't be just eating trash food. Forget weight and all that. I'm just talking about different foods affect your body in different ways. That's really why I try to eat healthier. Doesn't mean I don't cheat, because I definitely had some cake when we were celebrating the girl's dad's birthday. So I'll have candy sometimes. I'll have whatever, my little cheat stuff. But overall, I really try to eat foods that are not going to make me feel lethargic afterwards, because I'm really trying to do a lot right now. And I really don't have time to be just tired and not motivated or whatever. So take care of yourself physically. Sometimes, man, after a hard day's work, when I don't feel like working out, I hit that Celsius workout, be powered by Celsius, and go ahead and get it in. I feel so much better afterwards. This is without the results. The results, of course, I'm loving, because I'm getting back to, you know what I'm saying? But that aside, just feeling better, I sleep better. And even I've always been somebody that I like to try to challenge myself and do the things that people either try to say I can't do or whatever. Like, I like to challenge myself, and I like the fact that now I can do more burpees per set than before, or that I could do this and that. But then again, like I said earlier, jumping jacks is, and I don't even know why, it's so like a random thing, but it's really, there's just something about jumping and raising my arms at the same time that just don't sit right in my soul some days. And sometimes it really, like, some days all I could do is the modified version, the whole thing, but I do that modified thing and at least I'm still moving. I really try not to stand there unless it's the rest period, because technically all the workouts I do are what is called hit workouts, where it's like you go really hard for, his are usually 45 seconds to a minute, and then you rest for 10, 15, or 30 seconds, depending on how his stuff is. You go hard for maybe a couple minutes and rest 30 seconds or whatever. So that's called a high intensity interval training workout, because it's raising your, raising your heart rate, I guess, I don't know, and then bringing it back down. And I guess there's something about that where it helps you burn more fat. I've heard other workout people talk about that, because, you know what I'm saying, I've been on this journey, but now I'm finally out here having success, making progress, you know what I'm saying? So technically those are all the workouts that I do, but I say all that to say is, results aside, I feel better now that I'm consistently working out. And I don't work out every day. I just try not to, unless I get, like, when my allergies really, really bother me, kind of makes me still feel quote unquote sick. And was pre-Rona, so I know it ain't COVID. I know my body, you know what I'm saying? But, or if I'm trying to think of other things where maybe it's been longer, but for the most part, I try not to miss have like more than 2 days in between workouts, even if I only rest 2 days and then work out one. But I usually try to, like, more so at least work out 2 days in a row, rest one, because you do have to rest to allow your muscles to regenerate and all these good things that happen. So you do got to rest, but take care of yourself physically is the whole point of all this. So thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to season 4. If you're new, like I said, new episodes drop every Thursday. So I hope you come back. Have a great rest of your day.
Ladies and gents, this concludes transmission. Tune in next time for a whole new edition. Another adventure and mission to share, be heard, and clarify the vision of this whole new world for Tam.